Good evening and welcome to Cstv News at 24 on Cstv. My name is Dr. Smith and Cstv News at 24 is brought to you by Bremer Ocean Agency, Celeste Tom Brown, Amcel Block Machinery and Block Manufacturing, KS Rafemex Company Limited, Serious Dream Jewelries, Jap Decorations, Nap Apartment Hotel, and Crystal Jorek Pet Shop. Now let's look at some headlines that will come your way in tonight's news bulletin. Government pledges definitive position on Boku mediation report. Also coming your way, Kaneshi Assembly member built borehole for Kaneshi electoral area. And business news also, fuel prices begin to drop as OMC's cut pump rates. On the international front, pastor fails to overturn jail term in car theft case in Madagascar. These and many more stories will come in your way in tonight's news bulletin on CSTV. Stay tuned. And now to our first story for tonight. Aspiring new patriotic party flag bearer Dr. Brian Champon says the party needs fresh energy and cannot afford to repackage former Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Speaking in an interview, he argued that Dr. Bawumia has reached his electoral ceiling.
And so on and so forth. So yes, we will. I mean, it's not like we're in tatters that we have to rebuild that. But
are you sure about that, though? I mean, the tatters question is historically this defeat was unprecedented.
Well, I mean, at the time that the NDC lost in 2016,
yes, it was
unprecedented.
But then you've beaten that record now.
That is
the margin of defeat.
But we'll come back.
Significant.
We'll come back and win elections again. Look, we had a headwind that was difficult. And then we had some structural problems with the party candidature and all those things. And it was a perfect storm, positive for the NDC, negative for us. Be as it may, we'll come back as a strong political party and then win elections again in this country.
Expecting Ghana's digital sector has warned that placing greater emphasis on meritocracy, particularly among young people, is essential for tackling the increasing cases of online scams in the country. The caution was expressed at the 35th anniversary event of the Margins ID Group. Speaking at the 35th anniversary of the Margins ID Group, a company that provides identity solutions to countries and institutions, as well as the Kanakad founder and chief executive officer of the group, Moses Baden, stated.
We don't have so far to go. All we need to do is to agree that we're going to apply a rule-driven environment, and we're going to reward hard work and meritocracy, so that people don't go into Sakawa thinking that that's what makes them rich. Because, you know, when people have role models, they see that Chairman Positive is a very successful businessman. He's running a business, he wakes up, and he's making progress. So I want to be like Chairman Positive. If they see that me, I'm some kind of Sakawa person, I go scamming people and getting dubious contracts. They say, I want to be like Positive because he has a big car. You understand me? So the role modeling has to change. The promotion of a meritocracy has to increase. Our policies for supporting local industry, they are there. They have to be implemented. We have to take the hard decisions that are market-driven.
Mr. Baden stressed the need to create more opportunities for the youth, describing it as a step towards driving economic growth.
Even if you are 40, people say you're a young man. You know, and people get too old, and when they have the energy, they're not given the space to do what they can do. And we need to change that. A rules-based organization that gives room for innovation and talent. is what drives economies, not cronyism, patronage.
The Asantehene Otunfo Osei Tutu II says he has restrained the arrest of Seidu out of respect for the Nairi. Otunfo Osei Tutu II made the remarks while presenting the Boku Peace Mediation Report to President Mahama at the Jubilee House.
Restrained both governments from effecting the arrest of Mr. Seidu Abagare out of respect for my brother, the Nairi. The final resolution of the Boku matters requires that Mr. Seidu Abagare be recalled to Nalerugu by the Nairi to be reassigned to play another traditional role at the palace of the Nairi assisted by the state. Alternatively, he may choose to stay in Boku as an ordinary citizen of the community, but not to pose as Boku Naba. The final recommendation, Mr. President, I recommend that my brother, the Nairi, accepts the laws as presently constituting Sigri Abugrabu Azoka as the chief of Boko and head chief of the Kusasi traditional area. We chiefs, no matter how exalted, do not live above the Constitution of Ghana and the laws duly enacted and affirmed by the courts. Accordingly, the laws which recognizes Asigri Abugragu Azoka must be enforced by the government of the Republic of Ghana until change in accordance with the 1992 Constitution or reviewed by the Supreme Court of Ghana. The government must enforce the laws and deal sternly with any person challenging the lawful authority of Abugra Azoka. This is critical to the restoration and maintenance of peace in Kusasi traditional area. I wish to thank you, Mr. President, and your predecessor for reposing such confidence in me and tasking me with the mediation of this conflict with a view to finding a lasting solution.
After Otunfo Osei Tutu II presents the mediation report to the President, President John Dramani Mahama has pledged its definite position on the Boku Peace Mediation Report within 24 hours. The President made a pledge in his address following the symbolic handover of the report by the king who led the mediation.
Operating in our northern neighbor Burkina Faso. And so the end of this mediation gives us the opportunity to see what the way forward is in terms of bringing peace and calm. Boko has the potential to be one of the most vibrant commercial centers in our country, and indeed it has been a center of trade. And a lot of people in Boko have prospered, whether they are Mankusis or they are Kusasis. Unfortunately, this conflict has turned the fortunes of Boko. Teachers refuse to be posted there, doctors refuse to be posted there, civil servants are leaving. We're doing national service postings, and we have suspended posting national servicemen and women to Boko because we cannot guarantee their safety. And so I'm pleased that Otunfo's mediation has come to an end and that he has presented a report. And I can assure him that government would look at this report, and within the next 24 hours, government will issue a statement on its definitive position on the report. But it's my hope that the National Peace Council, the House of Chiefs, and Otunfo himself and all the religious bodies would go the next step of continuing the engagement between the Nairi and the Bokunaba to ensure that we're able to bring reconciliation between the two groups. On behalf of the Vice President, Nana Pokwajima.
And now let's move to the education sector. Ghana's foundational learning system is poised for a major overhaul, with the Ministry of Education announcing plans to integrate cutting-edge subjects like artificial intelligence, coding, and financial literacy into the basic school curriculum. This was said by the Minister of Education, Haruna Idrisu, at the national stakeholders convening focused on the state of public basic education and social inclusion.
The Curriculum Review Committee of the Ministry of Education, chaired by a respected educationist, Dr. Amina, will commence work. Ghana necessarily must go digital. I intend in November, supported with the GES, to hold the first national conference on artificial intelligence and the future of education in Ghana. The positives, the negatives, and the disruptions of artificial intelligence. How do we prepare as a country as we walk it? Let me now conclude by saying that in the review of our educational curriculum, we will be introducing coding, electronics at the basic level of education in order to prepare young people and artificial intelligence for a competitive digital world tomorrow. Robotics, electronics, artificial intelligence will be an integral part of the revised curricula for basic education from kindergarten to primary school.
Let's move away from the education sector. Assembly member for the Kaneshie electoral area, Honorable Ebenezer Aidu, has built a borehole for the Kaneshie electoral area as part of the promises he made to the citizens. The borehole was officially opened today at Kaneshie, a suburb of the Greater Accra region. At the opening ceremony, Honorable Ebenezer Aidu pledged to fulfill his promises to the electoral area before the end of his tenure. Speaking with some citizens, they expressed gratitude to the assembly member for a work done. On this note, we're going for a commercial break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Company Limited. So we pay blocks machines here a papa. None of bonso assign edda for dia. Any na enwani Amsel Company Limited. Your conveyor blocks machines, hydraulic blocks machines, pallets, any blocks machines in one accessories in na. And nothing so blocks machines are who draw opening in a bin so ewo ho. Just show your chakwan ene ya. Ye was Spinters Road 18 Junction. Ye ni KFC Dino and a edin she ni mu. Freye, it was 05,240 and I say 0540-725850. Amsel blocks machines in papa pa efie.
Welcome back from the commercial break. You're still live on CSTV News Night on CSTV. Now, let's delve into some business stories. Some oil marketing companies have begun reducing fuel prices in line with industry projections. Vivo Energy has taken the lead, cutting prices from 12.69 Ghana cedis to 12.50 Ghana cedis per litre, while diesel has been reduced from 13.22 Ghana cedis to 12.48 Ghana cedis. Also, petrol has also reduced the price of petrol to 12.48 Ghana cedis per litre, with diesel now selling at 12.48 Ghana cedis. More marketing companies are expected to reduce the prices of petroleum products before the close of the week. The Minister of Works and Housing, Kenneth Ejay, says the initiative aimed at transforming Ghana's built environment sector. According to the minister, the initiative seeks to integrate low-carbon designs into public construction projects.
To align our priorities to this roadmap, my ministry will, in the coming days, launch the Greenville District Housing Program. This program is anchored on the use of low-carbon, locally sourced building materials and scalable, sustainable construction models aimed at transforming policy into tangible, community-centered outcomes. Our pilot initiative will deliver modern, climate-resilient housing at the district level, going well beyond basic shelter. More importantly, I would like to highlight that both the entire Greenville District Housing Program site and all the individual housing units will pursue EDGE certification.
On the international front also, the Court of Appeal in Madagascar has, for the second time in succession, dismissed appeals challenging a 2-year jail term in a theft case against Odonko, a former lighthouse pastor. Odonko had been sentenced to prison for fraudulently stealing and selling a vehicle belonging to Lighthouse Chapel in Madagascar and embezzling and dissipating the proceeds. Sports updates will be coming your way right after the commercial break. Stay with us. Welcome back from the break. Now let's move on to sports update for tonight. Anthony Joshua has issued a chilling warning to Jake Paul ahead of their fight in Miami, saying he would be willing to break his opponent once they step into the ring on Friday evening. The former two-time heavyweight champion delivered the stark message during fight week in Florida, rejecting any suggestion he might show mercy on the YouTuber who turned boxer.
You see with Jake, what I learned about Jake is when you look at the physicality stuff, and as you said, he's looking at my chest, I think Jake is someone where I got beaten mentally because he's a mental person. This is my observation. A lot of what Jake's preparation is based around is not only the physical aspects of training, but the way he thinks, meditation, breath work. And if I can break his soul, and I can break his mentality, then I've broken Jake. So this is why it's going to be an interesting fight, because I just don't look at it from a physical standpoint. I know the person that's in front of me, and I know that I got to break it. That's what I said, I got to take his soul. It's not just physical, I got to take your soul in the ring.
Yeah, obviously in the fights are different, you know, but when are you going to start taking it?
I've just seen in fights when I can see someone, let's call it energy, frequency leaving their body. And that's what my goal is to do the same to you. You have that instinct. You can see it. When you're fighting, you can just see a small glimmer of someone that's just about to start fading. And then you just keep exploiting that, until some people give up. Some people get knocked out. We'll figure out. But as I said, for me, it's not just going in there and being dominating physically. I want to break him down spiritually and mentally.
Enzo Maresca refused to clarify who his recent cryptic comments were about in a press conference ahead of Chelsea's Carabao Cup quarter-finals against Cardiff. Jamie Carragher compares the situation to Mo Salah's recent Liverpool outburst.
He's speaking about the owner and the sporting directors, and I think this is a classic case that we see at a lot of clubs now, where you have a head coach, not a manager, and sporting directors. And what you get is the coach comes in initially and agrees to the terms and conditions, but then he feels like, yes, but then he feels like he's done a really good job, and he has done a great job getting Champions League football last season, winning a European competition and winning the Club World Cup. So then slowly he feels like he should get more power. He'll be really disappointed by Chelsea not going into the market and buying a centre-back in the summer when Colwill got the big injury. So in the last few weeks, the results have just turned on him a little bit. So he's calling something out, and he wants something in the public, which I don't agree with. We spoke about Mo Salah last week. This is not as extreme, but it's a similar sort of situation. I don't like people going public, whether it's a manager or a player. You sort it in-house. But the problem for Enzo Maresca is, if he continues like this, there's only going to be one winner.
And two there, Liverpool and Arsenal and Chelsea. Only 13 points difference since Maresca actually came in, and as Jamie's saying, he's won the trophies as well. The UEFA Conference League, the Club World Cup. He's talked about today. He's talked about the fact that if they beat Cardiff, they're into the third semi.
I think it'll just be Maresca, because we are talking about Chelsea being one of the most coveted jobs, I would say, in European football.
So in sports news, the 48-year-old Wilfred Nancy has lost his first 3 games in charge at Celtic. The Frenchman has suffered the worst start of any who was losing 3 games. After missing a chance to replace Hart at the top of the table, they were beaten by Roman in the Europa League before failing to defend their League Cup title as they lost to Saint-Marin at Hampden Park.
He's speaking about the owner and the sporting directors, and I think this is a classic case that we see at a lot of clubs now, where you have a head coach, not a manager, and
this is my job. This is a normal action. Don't forget that I come from Europe, so I know the way it works. And to be fair, also in MLS is the same. Not with the same intensity, obviously, but I've been a player also, so. No problem with that. They can say what they want, and I understand that. After that, do I accept or not? This is not the topic. The topic is to be good with my players, to be good on the practice, and to be good also during the game to win games.
How confident are you that you can turn it around and really prove those kind of early doubters wrong?
I don't have to prove anything for anybody. Simple as that. I have to just be coherent with my team and to do my job as the best as I can. And after that, I think that things will turn on my, not on my side, but it's going to be more positive. So for the moment, it's been 10 days that I'm here. Like I said, I knew that before I came here that it could be difficult regarding the situation, regarding the fact that this is the first time for everyone to have a coach who comes in the middle of the season like this. So.
Now, welcome back. Let's delve into some entertainment stories. Ghanaian media personality Captain Smart has weighed in on the ongoing national debate surrounding the recent arrest of Abu Trika over his alleged role in defrauding U.S. elderly victims of more than $8 million. According to the journalist, if the government continues to permit the FBI to extradite Ghanaian youth over alleged fraud scheme, it should be prepared to kiss victory in 2028 elections. Goodbye.
I don't support Abu Trika. So I am nipa mebuna yasisa womo efikruma. Hweye oyela nwatwe and submarine dia faase asisa deko. Na wo remonata atikruma. Na mo say yeah bet more you mo chon puchi won mo belu. Aha say Emraba ni yedi ko born America. Ko edu be ni yedi ko born America. Say to mafia Ghana ne amaya hodo asan enhyehyɛ sɛ mini pa bi di bɔne wɔ okrom hɔ afama de ebra me enti ka botre kakra de okrom ha dada enti so di bɔne wɔ US kra no wa Ghana ha da wa Ghana dada ada sɛ wo tama botre ka firi Ghana ene firi ha kɔ America wa bra wo ankasa Ghana aban wo no nsa akɔ hyɛ ase sɛ obi eye Ghana ni obi ya America ni no di bɔne wɔ Ghana obi ya Germany ni odi bɔne wɔ Ghana Ghana ni wɔ Germany no di bɔne wɔ hɔ obi wɔ UK no di bɔne wɔ hɔ a emra na ya di nsa akɔ hyɛ ase no sɛ fa saa nipa no ebre yen wo so de be di bɔne a ye de wade bebre wo ada na ye de na wadi bɔne no ye de na US ko remonata America fo atini abɔ Ghana tiso ama yɛ de Abu Trika ne nkanfo ekɔ America Pacho Keno for that away. Amebunu, I support you. Ghana Mebunu, I support you. America, and I'm seeing your heart chocolate. I say, on Ghana, Miss Anderson, fucking for that. I'm going to Ghana and can't say the song here. Can for that.
Still in entertainment news, gospel musician Nanaya Ofori Atta has highlighted the structural challenges facing the gospel music industry, stating that the genre currently lacks proper representation and a formal seat at decision-making tables. According to the Field the Vibe Health Maker, the industry has a little chance of securing some of the allocations made by government towards the creative arts in the 2026 budget.
I mean, there was just a level of intentionality. You could tell that the organizers had thought through what they wanted. Maybe there were some lapses here and there, but by God's grace, we see it coming to life. For example, today, it's already started. We didn't have a long wait. The red carpets were smooth, less congested. Charlie, they're doing great. They're doing great. I live a simple life. I don't like stress. No, I don't like stress. I mean, when you think about it, who are we making it for? We're making it for the people of God. So whatever God wants us to do, we will. So take that pressure off your neck and everything will be fine. So no, I'm just in my pressure to like make it. No, there's the group, there's people, there's squads, there are individuals. Depending on what your targets really are, you would. But I don't think it's very necessary for people in the gospel to be putting pressure on themselves, because in the end, our employer is God and we go where God wants us to. So that's it. No, don't stress the question too much. We don't. There's no structured industry for it. We don't have a mouth. We don't have a seat at the table. There's nothing like that going to happen. Hopefully, the people ahead of us are going to step in and try and get in something. But per what we know, no. There's nothing so many times. So praise achievement is taking a bold step, and I pray that they will find a way of galvanizing all of us towards a certain goal. But as it stands, you would see when it comes just bits. Of course, there are certain marquee people that I pray would get, just so that it sets a good example and it trickles down. But till they do, it will be difficult. I still think we're in the season of Minister Joe Mettle, we're still in the season of MOG, we're still in the season of Mr. Dinah Hamilton, we're still in the season of Empress Gifty, we're still in the season of Team Eternity. Well, it's literally gospel season. The music is so great to the point where now you can't really tell who the artist of the year is. There were ages where you could say, oh, way better. But this year you can't, and that's how good the music has been. So who am I supporting? I'm actually supporting all the new artists who have been discovered by this scheme, because as a previous winner of that award, it means the world to see other people also get the chance in there. So.
And that will be all for tonight's news bulletin on CSTV. But before we go, let's have a recap of the top stories. Government has pledged definitive position on Boku mediation report. Kaneshi Assembly member built a borehole for Kaneshi electoral area. Fuel prices begin to drop as ONC's cuts pump rates on international fronts. Also, pastor jails to overturn jail term in car theft case in Madagascar. And this is where we draw curtains for tonight's news bulletin. CSTV News at 24 was brought to you by Rema Oshwin Agency, Celeste Tom Brown, Amstel Block Machinery and Block Manufacturing, KS Rafemix Company Limited, Sarah's Dream Jewelries, Jab Decorations, NAP Apartment, and Crystal Chorek Pet Shop. For more news updates, you can follow us on all social media handles at CSTV. My name is Dr. Samantha. Good evening.